Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Yeah, welcome back to Going In Raw News Brief. We got a lot to get into today, but we're going to try to keep it brief. If you're watching us on YouTube, smash that like button. Let's try to get this one up to 600 likes, Larson. What's
sounds good.
In the
news? We thought we were maybe out of the woods in terms of WWE releases. Maybe we are, but we're getting news of more releases.
More, but better.
Round. One of them, date kind of not placed. You'd suspect it might be the other ones. The other release definitely dates back to April 15th. But after two matches, only one of them televised in about 6+ months, it looks like Cain's Velasquez's time at WWE has come to an end. Dave Meltzer reported on the recent Wrestling Observer Radio that he was released. Saying, quote, "They haven't used him since Saudi Arabia. He was on a giant contract, so yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a multi-year deal, and it was like everybody else, they signed to a giant deal, and then now that they're cutting back, one of the things is in those deals that they have the right to cut people. So people who thought they'd signed multi-year contracts for high dollar figures, this is how it goes." Transcripts of that segment via Cultaholic.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Before you move on to the next name, I was looking around Twitter at this whole Cain Velasquez thing, and I found an interesting quote from Ryan Drost. I think his name is Drost. He covers wrestling stuff for, what is this? I think it's Comic Book Resources. No, just comicbook.com.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And this was kind of interesting. He said, the move was seemingly just a matter of time. A few months ago, I was told a story from a WWE source that Vince referred to him, Cain, as, quote, a false bag of goods after his first SmackDown appearance.
Wow.
Cain's time with AAA, which was one match, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was really supposed to be two, but I think he only actually maybe did one or two.
Yeah, so he says, he continues, Cain's time with AAA would seemingly prove that he had a higher ceiling than what WWE was able to leverage, disappointing all around. He says, to elaborate further on this story, as it was told to me at the time, Vince was said to have been very surprised about the extent of the knee injury that Cain had coming into the promotion, which is one of the factors that led Vince to this opinion.
Don't they do physicals on these guys before they sign the deals?
Why? Why bother? But he's a huge name, Larson. Yeah, he got zero response from the crowd. Look, you can even be as big a name as like a Tyson Fury, who is, he's he's the man right now in boxing.
Yeah, but boxing doesn't have the mainstream cachet it used to.
No, nothing really does. I mean, Ronda's a good example of somebody who they were actually able to capitalize on her reputation and name in a different sport. And there are so few Ronda Rouseys. Like, the only other person I could think of right now in that world is Conor McGregor. Maybe, I don't even know if Johnny Bones Jones would have that name. It's like Conor McGregor, and that's it. I mean,
that's really it.
It's a different time these days. I don't know. Yeah. Even back in the late 90s, there was Tyson, and really, who else could have come in? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like they tried with Shamrock, and he got over, and he adapted the pro wrestling world pretty well.
He did, yeah, he did.
But his name appeal, his mainstream notoriety, paled in comparison to Tyson.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And even when they brought in Tyson, it was as an attraction to add to something that was already going. It wasn't to try to make that person the man.
Exactly.
So yeah, kind of interesting because like seemingly they derailed a couple things because of his arrival. I mean, you can maybe extrapolate that, or you can maybe think that maybe Fox would have wanted that title on Brock regardless.
I think that would have happened regardless, yeah.
But you could say, well, maybe they put it on him to do the Cain thing. Either way, I think it would have ended up on Brock, and they would have done that silly squash match.
I think so too. Cain isn't the only high-profile name to be relieved of their duties as longtime WWE employee. I think he's been around since 1984.
Wow.
Gerald Briscoe was furloughed during the latest round of cuts, the ones on April 15th. Like I said, I don't know if Cain's release was on the 15th as well, or has happened subsequently. Meltzer first reported the news, first that he was released, but then furloughed. Briscoe later confirmed it on Twitter, stating, quote, what a writer made a mistake to set things right. I have not been let go. yet. I've been placed on furlough. Don't know who leaked the wrong news. I hope to get back to helping young folks find their dream. If not, been a heck of a run. Hashtag can't keep a wrestler down.
Yeah, boy, that is
surprising news.
That is pretty shocking, given how close he is to Vince. I don't know. We'll talk about lawsuits in a second here, but you start to wonder when somebody like Gerald Briscoe is furloughed, what might be going on. What might be going on?
I mean, he's been in the inner circle for the longest time.
Yeah,
sure. And I know one of his duties too was scouting, looking out for new talent. On the lookout for new talent.
Yeah, and if
they're not in the position to sign anybody right now, it's less for them to do.
If let's say that was like, and I'm just completely speculating, if it's 90% of somebody's job to do something they're not doing anymore, then a furlough makes sense. I mean, it's sad, it sucks, but it kind of makes sense from a business perspective. If WrestleVotes is to believe, though, we could be potentially seeing even more releases. Larson, do you remember that story about Eric Bischoff calling a meeting at WCW and saying, anybody who wants out, I will grant you a release? And who left?
Don't remember.
Raven.
Sid.
Raven. It was Raven.
Raven did. That's right.
Sid didn't need a lesson. He didn't need anybody to tell him he could go. He wasn't asking permission. Anyways, this is from WrestleVotes, hearing from a few different sources that WWE is willing to grant a release, quote, to just about anyone who requests one. Basically, if a talent wants out, they can go. Will be interesting to see if anybody really does want out, especially during this uncertain time. I kind of feel, though, man, the releases that went down were the ones who wanted out in the first place, or who had expressed
by and large,
interest in leaving.
With maybe the exception of Gallows and Anderson. They just signed those huge deals. Publicly, we hadn't heard of them being necessarily unhappy at all. I mean, they were in the Boneyard match. They were involved with AJ and the OC stuff. They weren't exactly winning titles, but they were involved at least. But they were on such huge deals.
Well, this is kind of this. If it wasn't for maybe Kane being released, this would be a top story, because the idea that 6 months ago they were locking down anybody and everybody, and if anybody want to release, no. And now this is a complete 180, and it's not like AEW is out there, and granted AEW is not going to be able to sign everybody, but it's not like they're also not producing content. We saw just the other day on Being the Elite, FTR written up in the sky, with the airplane smoke stuff.
Those look like actual real clouds. That's a meteorological event there with FTR forming in clouds, man.
Was that what they were supposed to? Was it like I just watched the very last.
It was way too dense and thick to be a Skywriter. That's
no. But my question was, what was the intention of the bit? Was it supposed to be a Skywriter, or was it supposed to be clouds?
No, I think clouds.
Oh, okay.
Skywriter can't do anything that thick. It's like legit clouds.
Therein may lie the joke, because I don't know what it's supposed to be. Anyways, so this is.
I think they're trying to say that FTR is a force of nature coming in. Anyways, continue.
Exactly though. They're not going to wait until there's crowds to debut. They debuted two people in front of no crowds. Matt Hardy and two former WWE guys. Matt Hardy and what's his face?
Brody Lee.
Yeah, they're not waiting. So it's not like WWE's doing this to, we got to make sure that nobody's going to show up in AEW. They're just, hey, you want out? You can go now.
I also wonder if they think at this point, as you mentioned, well, AEW can't sign everybody that we let go. No other promote. Well, like Ring of Honor is not producing content. New Japan is not producing content right now. They're probably not in a position to sign anybody. Impact has a bunch of stuff taped. Probably at least months, if not a couple. So, if you think, well, the outlet for these potentially released talents to go to AEW is only really AEW. AEW can't sign everybody.
Yeah, right.
So the threat that they perceived months ago when they were just signing everybody, at least in their mind, probably isn't there, or at least not there to the degree that it was.
Yeah.
So they probably feel way more comfortable to saying, all right, if you want out, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. And I am curious though. I'm absolutely curious, like, if we'll ever find out what the actual reasoning is for the change. Is it that? Is it the 80? Is it like, oh no, we're just trying to shed as much salary as we can right now, and we don't really care about the if they go somewhere else thing? I wonder what it is. I think it's probably what you said. It's probably the environment we're in right now. People going over to AEW, they can't sign everybody. If they do go there, it's going to have a less impact than like a big show, lots of people, a big to-do. So that's probably
Definitely.
the case.
Definitely.
Speaking of WWE versus AEW, it looks like there's going to be some more stuff going on in the trademark court.
Copyright
court. Whatever that is. Anyways, late last year, Cody Rhodes filed for the trademarks.
Oh, trademarks. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, not copyrights. Trademarks. My apologies.
For two old WCW properties, Slamboree, of course, the pay-per-view, and the phrase "the match beyond," which was another term used to promote War Games.
War Games.
Wrestling Inc. is reporting that WWE has started the process of opposing those filings last Friday and now have until July 22nd to file their opposition. WWE added in their filing for a 90-day extension that the potential opposer needs additional time to investigate the claim. Interestingly, they are not fighting. They're not opposing the trademark to the name Dusty Rhodes.
Or Cody Rhodes, too.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, that's good.
At least that I know of. They haven't filed that yet because the trademark on that lapsed, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, the same article here from Wrestling Inc. says, as noted last week, Cody also filed a trademark to trademark his former WWE ring name Cody Rhodes last week on April 13th. The filing was done within 24 hours of WWE's trademark expiring.
Okay, so just different time frames.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I hope the you know what, man, I don't really care what he calls himself, but it'd be kind of cool to be able to say Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, no,
it's a small thing.
We could say it.
We could totally say it. I think I
say
still
it on
slip.
TV.
I think I still slip sometimes and say it.
Yeah, I know. That's fine.
That's not the only shenanigans that's going on in the courts, Larson. What's going on? WWE's being sued again?
Yeah, just when we thought WWE and the McMahon family couldn't get in any more legal difficulty, bang, they get hit with another lawsuit.
Oh, my God.
Fightful is reporting that two shareholders, Ryan Merholz and Melvin Klein, filed suit claiming, quote, that top executives acted without the best interests of shareholders in mind, and alleges that, quote, WWE wasted corporate assets, made false statements, failed to disclose adverse facts, misled the investing public, permitted senior executives of WWE to sell more than $282 million worth of stock of their personally held shares of company stock at inflated prices at more. And then the lawsuit also goes into that alleged incident following the Crown Jewel show in Saudi Arabia when WWE talents were stranded in the country for a period. Was it plane difficulties? Were they being held hostage? In this lawsuit, seemingly they seem to think it's the latter. Quote, WWE held the Crown Jewel live event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia after the event ended. Shocking news report surfaced claiming the Saudi government was effectively holding a number of WWE wrestlers hostage in retaliation for McMahon's decision to delay the live broadcast of Crown Jewel until the Saudis made tens of millions of dollars in past due payments. Estimates for the amount outstanding range from $60 million to as much as $500 million.
Gee whiz.
I had not heard that.
Yeah, me neither.
Several wrestlers detailed their experience during the ordeal on social media. More or less, everybody just said, yeah, we were stuck on a plane, then we had to go to a hotel, and then we were back on the plane.
Yeah, there hasn't been any substantiated, like, hey, this actually happened. And to my knowledge, none of these lawsuits, like, didn't one of the lawsuits?
There was a pension fund that had the lawsuit, which also brought up this particular incident. Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't one of these lawsuits source like a Brad Shepard Twitter account or something?
Yeah, I think so.
That?
I think so.
It's like, maybe do your due diligence before you
that dismissed, tossed.
Exactly.
Really? This guy? You sourced this guy?
I swear to God, if anybody quotes one of my stupid tweets in a lawsuit, I'm quitting. Stopping.
Yeah,
don't quote my tweet in a lawsuit.
So this is just one of, like, I don't know, dozens of lawsuits that are pending for WWE. I'm sure one area they're not cutting personnel is probably illegal right now.
Oh, they're signing every hot lawyer on the Florida Loop, man.
Yeah, I know. There you go.
They're signing him up to WWE legal developmental.
There you go. Because it looks like they're going to be in court for a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. But the Vince, like, he's the kind of guy, he'll just drag this stuff out for days and days and days,
and then years and years and years.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, but yeah, it is kind of interesting. All the shenanigans with the stock. What is it? Is the stock price still over 40? I know it was over 40.
I don't know. I imagine a lot of investors who bought when the stock was $80, $90, $100 a share. What's that now?
It's almost 45.
Look at that
on the rebound.
And then saw that stock price plummet, and therefore out substantial amount of monies. They're probably upset and trying to find some recompense for their own losses. And if they think they have grounds to take it to court, I guess they'll pursue it.
It saw like a pretty big jump this morning for about 15 minutes. It was up to $46.48, and now
it had a pretty sizable or decent jump following the Q1 earnings call. So
yeah. So we'll see how this all plays out. That stuff seems super shady when everybody's selling off their stocks, and then like a couple days later, But
there's a legal term for that.
Insider trading, I think, is what it's called. Anyways, I know, man. I got to get on that, man. My sister works in the financial sector. I got to start hitting her up.
Yes, it is. There's a whole department in theory of the government that's assigned to make sure you go to jail for that.
I saw this thing on Dateline. You use burner phones. That's all you got to do. Hey, Monica, here's my burner. Here's your burner. Here's my burner. Who do I sell?
You probably don't want to have that conversation on here, man. This is
I'm too stupid to be a criminal. I could never do that. I am
that we can agree on. I too would be too dumb to even comprehend how to do anything. I'd get caught before I even did anything.
If I tried to shoplift gum, I'd get caught. Anyways, thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow with a news brief and then our AEW review. Patrons, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subscribers. A little bit later on today, we're going to be doing Ask Stephen Larson.
Correct.
So be sure to check that out. Thanks for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.